here this evening. I did ask John who was coming and what he thought I should speak about, and it's something I gave quite a bit of thought. And I thought in the context, this morning I read the headlines in the Standard, and if you read the headlines in our news today, it can be a bit depressing when you wonder what's the state of the economy, and therefore what does it mean for our businesses. Many of us in the room here are employers, you have obligations, you're running organizations. And so I thought perhaps I should speak about that subject and what it takes to be best among your peers in the various businesses that you run, because that has been my world. I appreciate I'm in the presence of my seniors in the legal profession, so I did tell John that should any questions come up on matters of law, I'd love to refer to him since he's my counsel in any event. So I'm not going to dare speak about legal matters, but I just thought I would speak about the economy and what our experience has been, and what I see as the opportunities, because sometimes it's easy to see the glass as half empty when indeed there are opportunities. And in the course of my career, because I've been doing this for a long time, I've been CEO for 11 years, and 7 years before that I was in the world of investments, so it's about 18 years. I've seen this, we've been part of these ups and downs in the economy. And in fact, some of the best investments that we did, we came in when the economy was at its worst. And so many times we forget that even when things are not looking up, there's huge opportunity. And the question is, what is it that have I learned from it? And really what I've learned is that success or rather where we've been more successful, is many times more influenced by what is in your circle of influence, what it is that you can do as a business leader, than what is happening in the state of the economy that you're playing in. And the second thing that I have picked up is that in times such as this, it's actually more critical to enhance your game as an organization, because it's more competitive and there's opportunity for you to win market share. So I always tell my people, this is not the time for us to relax. This is the time, even if you're in a shrinking market, the question is, what size of market share can you take in that market? And therefore to focus more on what is in our circle of influence. I'm reminded of a joke of, not really a joke, it's a true story of two people who were in a pub, in a cocktail such as this. And one person said, I hear there's going to be a recession. And the second person says, I've chosen not to participate. So for a lot of us, when we engage with my colleagues, my view is that we've chosen not to participate in what is happening, but really to see what opportunity is going to be there, because 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 30 years down the road, you're still going to our country. And you have a responsibility to move on. So I wanted to share with you some of my lessons, because in that journey we've made many mistakes. There are many things we've done that have not worked. And there are a few things that we've done that have worked. And when I took over the leadership of this organization, I found exactly 10 million shillings of cash in the bank and an overdraft of 180 million shillings. And when I asked my shareholders, we had a strategic plan at Windsor, and I asked them what their ambitions were, and they were huge ambitions. And I asked them, how much cash will you put into the business? They said they have no money, but if I make any money, I can keep it for the first 5 years. And so, having come from that situation, sort of, what have I learned about working and achieving something with very little, from a very small starting point? For me, the critical pillars that I've picked up is really three. It's about what strategy will you adopt? And strategy really is how well aligned is it to the needs of the customer? And then how do you build your competencies of the organization to the strategy that you've chosen to pursue? And so if I give you some examples, like you look at this environment that you're in, and you take a sector that perhaps has been heavily affected, say real estate, and you say real estate is not doing well. But when I look at the last, say, 4 months, across the business, we've sold about close to 400 units in the last 4 months across the country. And so, in every situation, there's a customer and there's a market, and it's critical to be clear what that pain point is, what pain point you're addressing, and what competencies are critical within your organization to address that pain point, so that even if the market is not big, the question is, how do you optimize the market share, your share of that particular space? It is in this same environment where we've just completed one of our largest exits, which is when we sold our bottlers, and that was for 19.4 billion shillings. So you can achieve success, that's my message, regardless of what is happening in the environment that you are in, if one chooses to focus on their circle of influence. And that's something that I've picked and that I continue to focus on. Many times when we look at companies to acquire, and we've acquired many, some have made it, some have struggled, what we've picked up is that the place we start in due diligence is not even the numbers. It's a leadership competence, it's a leadership capability. And what you'll find, what my experience has been in many industries, the top 10 of players are the ones who make money. So if you come to the legal profession, the top 10 where the triple O's are, the rest, those are the people who make money. And that's the reason I'm not in the legal profession, because I was not in the top 10. The middle part will sort of float around. They'll probably earn a moderate return on capital. At the bottom will lose money. And so in anything you're doing, the question is, even in companies you go into, the question is the leadership capability that you are getting into, and the business that you're getting into, is it in the top 10% of its industry? And that sometimes we focus a lot on marketing initiatives and other initiatives, and we forget about the need to really work on the competencies and the capabilities of the organization, because the results that you get very much reflect what capabilities are inherent in the organization that you are involved in. The second point is that besides the capabilities, besides the strategy, the second critical pillar of success in business, and that determines the success are found out, is the people processes. Because you can have the best strategy, but it comes unhinged at the people point. And when you think about people, the most critical thing in the people is the leadership. And there are many of you in this room who are leaders of your businesses. Some of you are relying on getting into businesses where you're relying on other leaders. And the key thing with leadership is character and capability. Those are very difficult to change. And where I've made many mistakes is in companies we've acquired, is in the recruitment of the CEOs, where sometimes you recruit people who you're expecting will sort of build up to the job. What tends to happen is that an organization can only rise to the capabilities of its leader. And leadership is not a developmental role. CEO is not a developmental role. A CEO role is a role where you're looking for an individual with a track record, with the capabilities already in place, so that the organization can follow them to that particular level. And I therefore think my own view and what I share with a lot of my leaders, that our principal responsibilities before we focus on developing our people is developing ourselves first. Because we cannot take our organizations where we have not been. And therefore, today I'm the constraint to the development of my organization. And the day I stop growing, the company will stop growing. And so in the growth of all of us, they'll be able to continue expanding the capabilities of the organization. And some of the characteristics we look for, and some of the characteristics I've seen in the CEOs and leaders I've worked with where we've been fairly successful, is leaders with an ownership mindset, where people take this initiative as their own. Then secondly, people with an ambition for excellence. Because unless you have that winner's attitude to say, I want to be number one, and you're not content until you're there and you push your team to that level, the the results will not come through. The third point is to be a change agent. You know, all these businesses, for you to grow them, something has to change. If you keep it the same way it has been, nothing will change. The organization I took over had been in existence since 1967 to 2008, in existence for 40 years. But then, if we continue doing what we have been doing, it would be exactly where it is today. And therefore, that ability to take risk and venture into new things and not be afraid to fail, and then also to encourage people to say, yes, it's okay to try. It's okay to try and fail, but at least you tried. And many times you'll be criticized. People will say, no, you started this thing, they're not going to succeed. But it's to close your ears and really focus on what it is that you set out to do. You may be successful, you may not be successful, but at least you tried. Because the only thing that is constant is change. And you know, in all these organizations, including like the bottlers, which we merged, if I take an example of Almasi, these were old companies. There were 3 companies which we brought together and totally changed the way the configuration was. In 2012, this company had a profit of 100 million shillings. By 2017, it had a profitability of close to 1.4 billion shillings. The dividend we had paid in 2012 were not paying any dividend. By 2018, we paid a bonus to staff of 250 million shillings, which was more than the total dividend that had been paid for a long time. But there has to be change, and that change requires courage, and that change requires leadership with courage that is not afraid to fail. Yes, you try your best, things may work out, things may not work out, but at least you've gone out there and ventured. The other thing is to be a solution provider. You know, every day, when I see a call from John, when I get a call from the other weekend, I got a call from people on social media. Something had happened in the bank that I lead. Shortly, I was talking to the governor. Every day, you're confronted with a myriad of problems. Your CEOs will call you, and there's a problem here. Clients will call you, there's a problem here. People will tell you on social media, there's a problem. But the ability to have that resilience, to withstand those problems, to remain positive, but also to provide solutions, and to provide solutions while remaining positive, and focusing on that big picture. I remember one time I was in a conference, and a new colleague had joined us, our organization, and he kept on calling me. So I texted him back and asked him what's up. Typically I do that, but when my lawyers like John call, I answer immediately because I don't know, maybe I've received a huge award in one of our cases. But this particular one, I asked him what's the issue, and he gave me a long story. Then he asked me, please advise, what solution are you escalating? And many times our people are not used to being asked what solution are you escalating. They're used to asking the boss, oh, please advise. And we are quick to dispense that advice. And what happens is that you disable the organization, because then you are a bottleneck. And everything has to go by you. So I asked him, what solution are you escalating? And he gave me a long story. Then I referred him to another section of the golden rules that says, just get it done. And it's okay to make a mistake. You are the one at the front line, you're the one who knows best what to do. Take that responsibility and get it done. So encouraging your teams to be purveyors of solutions rather than escalators of problems, and really backing them up even when what they have tried to do does not work out, because many times they will not achieve 100% success. But for me, what is unforgivable is not trying, is not taking a call when you can take that call. And then, of course, finally is integrity. The only way this thing works is if there's 100% integrity, but that comes from the leadership. And one of the things I'm rather proud of, except for case instances where we've been sued, typically by government agencies and others looking for taxes, we've had no single litigation in all the transactions that we have done, or a claim or arbitration to date. And that's because in many of the dealings, even where there's no contracts, there's fairness. Because then a lot of the transactions that you're involved in are based on trust. And a lot of these large transactions are based on a single conversation, discussions, and you're coming to do SPAs and the rest much later. And it's important that your counterparties should be able to trust you, that you will follow through, regardless of what is written may be written in a way that is not clear, but really having that trust and confidence, and that enables you to get opportunities that you would not otherwise have gotten. That's on the leadership. But then you have the followers and the people who are below the leadership. I think getting your people to connect with the purpose of the why is, for me, has been critical, and there's something we're working on in our organization, which is called a 4DX, where everybody connects from the overall organizational goal. The person at the shop floor is able to connect what it is that they're doing today. How does it make a contribution to what we've set out to achieve? And we then have scoreboards that are prominently displayed so that performance is radically transparent, and where you are, it's transparent. And they meet every week and update their boards and say, this is where we've reached. Because all that does, it gives people's work meaning. So there's meaning in what they're doing. Because a lot of good people derive fulfillment not from the salary they earn, but from the meaning that they get in their work, to know that this work I'm doing is going to make a difference. And I am making a positive contribution to the overall aspirations of the organization. We've not always been 100% successful, but it's something that we are working on continuously. And where it has worked, you see huge impact on engagement. And in fact, in some cases, you have greater engagement and greater satisfaction. So, friends, I think when we can do better, but even with what we have, there's wonderful opportunity. And even with what you have, what your organizations will become is more going to be determined by what you do than what happens externally. I want to close with those remarks and wish you, each and every one of you, all the best in whatever it is that you're doing. And I look forward to us engaging and having fruitful conversations and really changing the narrative of what this country can be. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.